Income inequality is one of the most controversial subjects in this country. President Obama, in his last State of the Union address, called it the defining challenge of our time. Our own Rebecca Bowering traveled to San Francisco, a city that is the epicenter of the debate because of the rising prices of housing and rent.
Ellen Parker is a single mum who works for the city of San Francisco. She's lived in this neighborhood for 8 years. Ellen takes the public or minibus to work, but says it's often quicker to walk because the private shuttles are blocking the road.
There will be 3 or 4 shuttle buses lined up in a public bus stop, and there's a bunch of kids waiting to go to school, and the Muni will just keep going because they can't get into the stop.
The corporate shuttles ferry around 17,000 mainly tech workers south to their jobs on the peninsula. The arrival of these well-paid professionals to San Francisco is widely seen as a major cause of the rocketing rent prices driving some poorer residents out. Affordable housing activists, who view them as a symbol of inequality, have set up blockades in protest. They say economic growth in Silicon Valley is being prioritized over the needs of local people.
The buses are a symbol of these tech companies, Twitter, Google, Apple, saying everything's for us and for our interests, our economic interests. We need to have the workers who work in the cities being able to afford to live in the cities. And we can't have the developers, private developers and speculators in charge of development.
America is known for its long-running love affair with the automobile. Its public transit infrastructure lags behind much of the developed world. Despite this, investment in the sector at 2.4% of GDP is just half of what it was 50 years ago. Many San Franciscans complain about their troublesome commute on a daily basis, saying it's only got worse since the shuttles became more prevalent. Kai Milner, a columnist for the San Francisco Chronicle who's written extensively about the tensions, says the city government has been too slow to curb the problem.
Public transportation in San Francisco is really limited and really problematic, and having a bus block the public transit bus is a problem. And they should have definitely gotten on top of that issue faster. I've never seen a Google bus ticketed for blocking a Muni bus stop, even though it happens all the time.
City Hall, which says the shuttles help get people out of their cars and cut down on pollution, has now brought in a pilot program. It charges private tech buses $1 every time they stop at a public bus stop.
What we're proposing is a way to capture and continue to capture the benefits that the shuttles provide to the transportation system, while at the same time resolving the conflicts.
But critics say the new shuttle tax is so small in comparison with the tech firm's wealth that it's laughable. The measure doesn't look set to appease the anger of residents like Ellen Parker.
$100,000 a year is a drop in the bucket for them. That's one employee's salary for the year. I think that is not a very meaningful example of how that they want to integrate into San Francisco and make sure that their businesses aren't disrupting the people that have made this their home for a very long time.
San Francisco's simmering class tensions are a sign of how hot a political topic America's income gap has become. If the city takes too many punitive measures against tech firms, it risks losing its most successful innovators. Yet it must also convince the 99% that their needs are not being put second. Rebecca Bowering, Telesur, San Francisco.